As far as care goes, one of the best ways to keep cloth diapers from leaking or having any issues is fit first, which we mentioned a little bit in our style segment, but also keeping them clean so that they absorb really well. The best way to do that is to clean them frequently, but also to keep harmful materials off of them that are going to gunk them up and cause repelling issues. The best way to keep from gunking up the diapers is to avoid certain materials, including petrochemicals, dyes, fragrances, softeners. All of those things are oil-based and they're going to coat our fibers and repel the pee, which is a no-no in cloth diapers. So getting them really clean is one way to do that, and then also just not using those things in the first place is the other way to avoid those. So logistically, after you have changed your baby and you have put your diaper into your pail for no more than 3-4 days absolute max, and don't store your pail in a dark garage. Keep it inside where it's not so hot. We're going to take out our pail liner. So this just slips through here. I don't ever want to have to touch the funky diapers. And then we're just going to place the front of the pail into the wash. I hold the top and I just push from the bottom so that all the diapers come out. Then I throw the pail liner into the washing machine with it and wash it all together. This is where having 2 of those is going to be helpful so that you have another one to place back into your pail while this one's getting washed. So what we're looking for in a good detergent to get our diapers clean is something that's free from dyes, petrochemicals, fragrances, and softeners. We get the question often, is a baby detergent safe? Well, they tend to have excess softeners. That's what'll make those baby clothes so super soft and buttery. But on the downside, all those softeners of oils are gonna coat the fibers and repel the pee. So we do wanna avoid baby-specific detergents like Dreft. I prefer the natural-based detergents. Most of them are going to be plant-based. The one downside to plant-based detergents is they don't suds as large as some of your synthetics. So you do need to use twice as much unless it's a concentrate, in which case twice as much of the concentrate. So typically on your lid you're going to have a 1 and a 2. You would always use the 2 when you're washing. Before we place our diaper into our pail, we want to be sure that we get the poop off. So we talked a little bit about how the newborn poops are like the honeymoon period for cloth diapering. That liquidy poop, we don't have to worry about getting it off if it's breast milk only poop. That poop is water soluble and it will completely come off in the wash. It may leave some residue, yellow staining, but we'll sun that later and not have to worry about it. If baby is on any formula or if they're on a medication for an extended period of time, we want to get that poop off before we put it in the pail and get it ready to wash. So I like using a bio liner. I would just hold those corners there, toss it in the toilet, flush it away. These are water soluble, so they're going to break down in a water treatment facility in 7 days or a septic in 21 days. Once we've gotten that off, now we're going to place it in our pail. There are diaper sprayers, but I'm not a fan. I used to carry diaper sprayers, but I found that the cost of a diaper sprayer, which is usually between $60 and $70, you can get 6 to 7 rolls of bio liners, and that's all that you're going to need for the entire time. And these are much more convenient, especially when you're out and about, because there's always a toilet available, particularly close to where you're going to be changing your baby. Once we're ready to wash them, our wash cycle is going to look like a cool rinse, followed by a warm wash with soap, followed by another cool rinse. That first cool rinse is going to help us get any little solid matter that might be hanging out in the edges. You'll notice as your baby begins to eat solids, it actually comes out just looking like it did when it went in. Blueberry bits, rice particles, you name it. There's going to be some of that on the diaper. So even with the use of a bio liner anywhere where it may not have covered, there might be little bits. So we want to be sure that anything that's left on the diaper is small enough to pass through the tiny holes of your washing machine. So that first rinse is going to be useful in getting any excess solid matter off. The warm wash with a cloth diaper safe soap is going to help to suds, get in there to all of the layers, and get all the pee out. After we get all of the solid matter off with our first cool rinse, it's also washing away some of the funky stuff so that once we get to our warm wash with soap, the soap can be effective. If we jump straight to the wash and skip the rinse, now we're mixing our soap with our funky pee and poop, and it's really not able to get cleaner. It's one of the #1 things that we see done incorrectly with parents at about 4 to 6 months who are like, I think my diapers are ruined, I just can't get them clean. If we don't put that first cool rinse in, we're just not gonna be as effective as possible. So, cool rinse, warm wash with soap. Final cool rinse is to help get any excess soap off, because we don't want any soap close to your baby's tender areas, and we wanna be sure that it's as absorbent as possible. Now, the way that they are dried depends on the style of diaper. As far as pre-folds, flats, and covers go, you can put any of these in the dryer. You can basically nuke them. These, though, you don't want to put them in the dryer. They've got elastic, which with excessive heat can wear down. And also this waterproof layer here can wear out over time. Because it doesn't have anything absorbent protecting the elastic or this waterproof area, they can really start to wear out and crack and get funky. They're kind of like a swimsuit. You don't need to put them in the dryer. You can just lay them over the edge of your laundry basket, and they're dry by the time that anything that's in the dryer comes out. Your fitted diapers are kind of unique in that they can go in the dryer, but manage your expectations that that elastic will start to wear out faster. Hanging them to dry is definitely going to be the most effective way for you to get them dry. I realize that sometimes hanging diapers to dry doesn't feel realistic for the modern family. So for me, I liked to do my laundry on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I would dry them in the dryer on Wednesdays and hang them to dry on Sundays. Never put wool in the dryer. Anyone who's ever had a wool sweater thrown into the dryer, you then have a dull sweater. So we always want to keep our wool out of the dryer. These really are a hand wash only product, and you want to then lay them flat to dry. So they can take a lot longer for drying. Hybrids and all-in-twos are very similar to the pre-folds and covers in that these wash them, as we've mentioned, and then put them in the dryer, no problem. The elastic will loosen a little, but it's not that big of a deal. It's really just intended to help kind of hold the poop in and off of your shell, so it's okay if it's a bit relaxed. This type of elastic, we really don't want it to relax, right? We want that snug fit around baby's thighs, so we don't want to put these in the dryer, because again, they don't have a protective absorbent layer inside to help keep that elastic from wearing out. So this is another type of, I would put Grovia shells over the edge of my laundry basket, and again, they're dry as soon as these are dry. With all-in-ones, if they're a TPU outer waterproof layer, that's that thermoplastic laminate outer waterproof layer, you can put them in the dryer without worrying so much that they're going to delaminate. I would do a medium heat. Of course, hanging them to dry is always going to be the most efficient method, because the sun will also naturally bleach out any of those breast milk poop stains. It'll lighten formula poop stains and solid poop stains, which are sometimes blue like blueberries or yellow like curry or orange like sweet potatoes. It'll help to lighten those stains, but also it's going to antibacterialize them. The sun's really fantastic. Then we don't have to use harsh bleaching chemicals. Another way that repelling chemicals can get onto our diapers and start repelling pee is if we're using a diaper cream that's not cloth diaper safe. So we want to avoid zinc and fish oil, because those tend to coat those fibers and repel the pee. So a couple of cloth diaper safe balms are Earth Mama Angel Baby, and then we also have the Grovia Magic Stick. That one's like a giant chapstick for your butt. So these are completely safe, though they don't have a really good barrier for that time when maybe baby's teething and you need something a little bit extra. That's where adding something with zinc, like the Think Baby Diaper Balm, is really great. These are going to be a little bit more tacky and will create a better coating on their bottom. However, with these, you need to use them in combination with your bio liner, because it behaves like a solid and it's going to keep that zinc on top and keep it from passing through onto your fibers and repelling the pee later. A couple of things to look for to know that your diapers are not getting clean enough is if they have a barnyard smell, or worse, if when you open them up, you're getting an ammonia smell. So once you're changing your baby and you open it from the heat and the moisture, if you ever smell ammonia, your diapers are going to need to be stripped. So typically this means that either a cool rinse wasn't being used, or that you have really hard water that's causing some buildup, or that your soap is just not cloth diaper safe. So one of the ways that I like to avoid that happening at all, because we really don't know, and the last thing we want to do is be 6 months in and now I got to devote a whole weekend to stripping the diapers because I wasn't aware that I had hard water. I like to use Grovia Mighty Bubbles proactively. So these are intended to actually strip the diapers, and that process looks like 3 hot washes with a pod inside the drum of your washing machine each time. But proactively, I will use these once a month after I've already washed them with the method I told you earlier. So we would wash them like normal with our cool rinse, warm wash with soap, cool rinse, and then before taking them out of the drum, I would toss 1 pod in and wash them again on hot. The Grovia Mighty Bubbles are basically going to pull the fibers apart a little bit to help get in there and get a good deep clean. I wouldn't use it every single time because it will cause holes in your diapers over time. Once a month is plenty just to get anything excess off and make sure that we don't land in that place where we've got stink issues or we're causing baby rashes from buildup. One more thing that can be really useful if you find that you're struggling to keep your diapers clean is after you have gotten the poop off, either with a bioliner or a sprayer, spray the soiled part with Back Out. So this is going to be a stain remover, but it's basically an enzyme that's going to eat away anything funky on there and kind of preemptively start the cleaning process before we put it in the washing machine. Once we get it in the wash and we're doing our cycle, that first rinse is going to wash all the Back Out away so that that soap can get in and do its job. But this will really help if you've got especially funky business going on. So that's how to care for cloth diapers.